Here we are. We're talking about Friday night, March 31st, 2023. A very windy and rainy night here in Woodstock, Illinois. And I've got a big treat for all of you bourbon lovers out there. Originally, I was going to be reviewing a beer, a classic American beer, that I will probably be reviewing tomorrow, so you'll have to find out what beer that is, because I don't do spoilers for my own videos, because that would just be silly. Tonight, this bourbon is one that I have tried to get my hands on for the last 6 months. So I am literally, or maybe not literally, but I am over the moon about this one. And this is one that used to be readily available. Then COVID hit and their production slowed, like it was terrible. Their production slowed down so much. But this one is a good one. And this one, bourbon lovers over the world have enjoyed for over 200 years. And get ready. Here is the reveal. Yes. Buffalo Trace Classic Bourbon. Just look at that beautiful bottle. This is just a beautiful bottle of bourbon. Now, Buffalo Trace is the flagship bourbon of Buffalo Trace, obviously. But some of the other brands under the Buffalo Trace umbrella include Elmer T. Lee, George T. Stagg, Blanton's, Eagle Rare, and the Antique Collection, among others. What I'm going to do in the description for this video, I will put a link to the website for Buffalo Trace, because there is a lot of history there, and it would be impossible for me to remember. And if I did give the whole history, you guys would probably get bored of me talking. So I'll just put the link in the profile. So what I did with this one, and I have to give Tracy Miller credit for this one. What I did to start this one off is I did a neat pour, which means no ice, no water, nothing, just pure whiskey. So I do a neat pour first, and then I take a sip of it neat, and then I will add some water. So this was a neat pour, and I let it sit in my cup for about 10 minutes, because I believe that the Buffalo Trace is an 8-year-old, or the classic Buffalo Trace is an 8-year-old bourbon. Some of the other brands can be aged 20 years plus. But those are a lot more expensive than the Buffalo Trace. So probably won't be reviewing those unless somebody wants to donate a bottle, but I don't think I'm quite there yet. But maybe one day. But here we go. This is a neat pour. Tremendous aroma. Very good. Excellent. Very soothing. Very refreshing. I almost forgot that was the hello sip. It does say hello. I felt a little bit of a spiciness to that, which is nice. But let's get into the sip, as it were. The whiskey chew. Mm. Mm. This bourbon is just pure quality. All the classic bourbon flavors, your caramel, your brown sugar. Maybe a little taste of butterscotch and honey perhaps, but this one is as reliable as it was 200 years ago. But now we're going to pour a little bit more here. Not too much more. But this this is absolutely, without a doubt, this is a bourbon that should be in everyone's collection. Solid taste, good price point, hopefully more readily available in the next few months. I understand they are ramping up production. But now let's try it with 6 drops of water. This is my water dropper here. 1. Come on, what the frick? What the hell? Piece of crap. Okay, gotta pause it for a minute here. Whoops. And sometimes these things happen in live YouTubing, which won't be live by the time you guys see it, but I did it live. We're live, pal. But we're gonna try that again. And I should say, even with the mishap, which was getting too much water in there, because you just want a touch of water, so we'll pour a little more of the whiskey here. Again, this is 90 proof, which is a solid proof. I don't like 80 proof from my, which is not very much experience. I don't think that 80 proof, at least for me, doesn't have enough of a flavor profile. Like that Irish whiskey that I didn't like, that was 80 proof. I found that to be very weak, very watered down. And this one, I would say it has a slightly thinner mouthfeel than the old Granddad Bonded, but it is still well in the range of acceptable mouthfeel. It is still got, the mouthfeel still has a little meat to it, if you will. But let's get this 6 drops of water here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just 6. And this video may go over the 10-minute mark. I'm not sure. Hopefully not. I like to keep them within 10 minutes. But I'm just going to talk a little bit here about how I have been a fan of bourbon probably for 10 or 12 years now. But until I discovered the Whiskey Tribe on YouTube, I had no idea what I was doing. You could argue that I still don't, but I'm trying my best. Now let's look. Let's take a sip of it with the water. First, of course, the sniff. Excellent. The odor, the aroma has not changed much. There's a significant difference with just those 6 drops of water. The caramel and the honey flavors are really coming through. So I suggest 6 drops of water. Now, warm water, not ice cold, but try to keep it lukewarm water. Again, all the classic flavors that you look for in a bourbon. The caramel, the brown sugar, the honey, hint of butterscotch, maybe a hint of a spiciness. With the water, they're magnified. So drink, if you want to really enjoy this bourbon, add a couple drops of water. This is a top-notch bourbon. I've been a fan of this one for several years. So buy this bourbon when you can, because it will not be around for long. Or it will be around, but once the store you go to, once their bottles for the month are gone, then that's it. And you have to wait for another month and then another month. And I had to wait like 6 months because I wouldn't get my act together. But I want to thank everyone who watched this. And have a great weekend. And let's go Cubbies. Cubbies play the Brewers tomorrow. White Sox are playing right now in Houston. So everybody have a good weekend. And thank you again. And tomorrow I will most likely review that beer. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Thank you and good night, everyone.